Black with Garland and Calvin. We were having some major technical issues, so I apologize for that. But once again, it's all things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He is Garland. And today we are here doing double duty. We'll be discussing last night's episodes of Queen Sugar, season 5, episode 5, titled May 19th, 2020. And last night's episode of This Is Us, season 5, episode 10, titled I've Got You. Man, this computer was trying to make us not great. I mean, it kicked us out. It wouldn't let us in. Then it made me say we were starting at 8:30. Man,
Right.
it's a hater. It hates more than your fans when we're doing music battle. It's such a hater, man.
Come on, man. Let's not. I was trying to give it a little break this evening. I didn't want to pull out the belt, but you. I'm sorry, man.
Man, I can't believe you. You see how I tried to just ice you out real
Right.
quick.
You try
I
try
can't.
to
I
try to
can't.
get me off the thing with the.
Man, I can't believe. Listen. Wait, because of you and because of this daggone computer, I had to go double fisted tonight. I told you they did a new honey brown, and my
Right.
in-laws just happened to have the old bottle. Let me the old bottle, and I was trying it, and I think the old bottle, it's a different taste. They tried to say it wasn't a different taste, but it is a different taste. So, but anyway, the people aren't here to hear about my alcoholism or your cheatingism. They are here to listen to us discuss Queen Sugar, and This Is Us. So, and we're running late, so we might as well just get started.
Might as well jump into it. The government came out with a report today that the election was not tampered with. And so we just realized that this was a clean vote. I just want to put that out there. There was no tampering, although you had some people who were trying to divert the vote. They Anyway. I'm gonna go here, man. We talk about that another day. We talk about that
Exactly, you were trying to divert the vote.
another day. We're gonna start with Queen Sugar. All right, now Ralph Angel and Darla. We left off with them last week. They decided, hey, let's just go ahead and do it now. We're in the pandemic. We don't know when this is going to clear up. So let's just go ahead and get married. And so they decide they're going to get married in 12 hours at the Borderline farm. So, I'm like, wow, they're going to pull a full scale wedding together in 12 hours. But, hey, it's TV, the magic of TV. And so Hollywood, he's still in Baton Rouge making funeral arrangements for his mother, Willa Mae. Because of that, he doesn't think that he's going to be able to make it to attend the wedding. But if you saw last night's show, you saw that he showed up at the end. But Vi, she tries to encourage him as he deals with the loneliness and grief of the loss of his mom. His mother wanted to be cremated also, which was another hurdle for him having to, make that final transition from his mom. It kind of makes me think of something personally. Um, One of my desires was to be cremated. When I passed away, I was trying to talk to my wife about it. It's like I want to be cremated, and she told me she wasn't going to do it. And I said I was going to put it in a will or something. And if she wanted money, like the $500 that I would have left after she buried me, that she would need to cremate me. But I realized that for some family members, they want to have that last physical goodbye. I went to a funeral of a fellow deacon, and most people know I'm a deacon, and he was an older gentleman. And when he passed away, had the funeral, and his wife came up to him, and she got that one final chance to like fix his tie and touch his face. And so it kind of made me think about that, that final closure of what the transition is and what we all need. And it's also kind of funny because one of my best friends passed away a couple years ago, and he was cremated, and I have some of his ashes in my house. And so, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Now,
It's funny you said
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
I said the same thing to my wife. I said, I'm thinking about being cremated, and but my whole thing was economic. I was like, I don't want
That
it to
was my
be
reason. Hmm.
expensive. I'd rather, cremate it and you all just keep the money and all. And she
Right.
was like, nah, just get some more insurance, because yeah, you not
Right.
getting cremated. It ain't happening
Right.
that way. And
Right.
I didn't think it was really a big deal, but clearly, like you said, it is to some people. Some people really want to have that last goodbye, that last sight, that last viewing of people. So
Yeah,
completely
definitely. And
understand.
that was my same thinking, Calvin. It must be Capricorns. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna spend 30,000 on a funeral, because funerals are very
Exactly.
expensive. Go ahead,
Very
pocket
expensive.
that. But you know what they did now? They raised the price for cremation because people started
Oh,
to say, okay, I'm going to opt to be cremated. And so what they did was raise the price. As a matter of fact, I had a friend whose mother passed away. She was obese, and they charged by the pound. So if you're over a certain, yeah, man, if you're over a certain weight, they charge you additional price for your cremation.
oh well, shit. I would be supersized. They going, well, they probably, because they normally give you an urn when you're cremated. When I get cremated, my fat ass, they put it in a bucket. They had to put
Right.
all them ashes and shit in a bucket. So
Like, what is this? These are his remains. Yeah, man. So let me keep on going. As the ceremony approaches, Nova, she reflects on the pain that she caused for Darla and Ralph Angel. Think about Nova not only outing Darla's addiction and the seedy details surrounding Blue's conception, but making Blue's paternity public in her best-selling novel. And so most of us would be hard pressed to let go of that kind of anger. Yet, Darla, she's risen above it. She's kind of embraced the sisters, although, it's been tumultuous because, she's been in addiction. She's come out of addiction and trying to get her life together. And so Nova, she regrets what she did, but Calvin, loves them thick. He reminds her how resilient the family is and the love that they share. And so that was something that, I think Nova's, she's done a lot of stuff to people in the family out of selfishness or other things. And, having to reconcile that, I think that's major. What do you see in that character, the development for Nova in terms of her really accepting responsibility for her behavior?
well, I think they've actually just put it on the back burner because they've never really dealt with it. They've
Hmm.
definitely side-eyed her and and ignored her and things like that. But I don't think they've ever really dealt with it. I think they just as people that love you do will just kind of accept it and move on. It may come back again. Her guilt is definitely justifiable and it should be, but Nova is one of those characters that she tries to live a life of sanctity and like she's really innocent and great, but you I still go back to, you took that man from his family, and of course no one can go from their family if they don't want to go, but you were still a participant in that. So you can't, just like my man said in the song, if you think you're lonely now, just sweep around your own front before you start sweeping around mine. And Nova
Right.
was definitely sweeping around everybody else's front with that book.
Yeah, she definitely, it's funny. I view her as a person that kind of is in perfect balance. She has good intentions in terms of what she wants to do in the community and all those things, but then, she's equally as messy in terms of her personal life and her family life. And so, if you can find the yin and the yang in that, she's definitely this person that, she runs the spectrum of, good Nova to Nova, get the hell out my face type of person.
And
And so,
wasn't she the neighborhood drug dealer when it first started?
right,
I
she
believe
used
she
to
was.
run weed. That was her thing
Yeah,
when she first
yeah.
started. She used to run the weed.
Now,
Yeah.
granted,
So,
weed ain't crack, but it's still an illegal narcotic. I mean,
right,
think
right,
it's. I
right.
don't think it was legal. If it is legal in New Orleans now, I don't think it was then when she was selling it.
Right. She wasn't running a dispensary. They was doing hand in hands. What's up, you?
Hmm. She
Taking it
had the
like
little
that.
dude selling for and everything. Yeah, she
Right.
had the little dude coming to her house selling
Hmm.
for and everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's crazy. And she was a community activist and all this other stuff, man. Only TV. So everybody is pitching in. The day is here, the hours are ticking away, and so they decide to hold a quickie bachelorette party via Zoom with Nova, Vi, and Nova's mother, Darlene. It was Charlie's idea of the Zoom bridal shower and the bachelorette party, which was a nice touch. And it was good to see Darlene, if even if it didn't take her long to start making trouble. Darlene, she's messy. We know she was messy, excuse me, in the previous seasons, and she's being a little, Mesothelomia right there in terms of just, I'm waiting for her to say something slick, and which she eventually did say out her mouth, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, since Hollywood doesn't think he's going to make it to the wedding, although he shows up at the last minute, Charlie suggests to Ralph Angel that he ask Micah to serve as his best man. And so Micah, he's getting a lot of burn, a lot of grow up and responsibility and all. And so, was Micah a good replacement for this? He seemed, I'm still a little out on Micah.
So, I mean, Micah came in there with his Nino Brown fit. He had on the button up shirt and the
Right.
big dirty chain. You know what I mean? So he came with his Nino Brown fit on. I mean, but Mike is growing up now. Micah was also the photographer. I mean, it was definitely a good choice to have Mike as the best man. So I'm not mad at Micah for that. But I just think Mike is just a weird character. Just a weird character. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know if
just
it's
something
the
about him. Is
character or
that
the
beard weird? Is the
yeah,
beard weird on him? Is that real? Because I be
just a
looking
weird
at him, I be like, that's not a real beard. It don't look like his. It don't even look like
exact.
his face should have hair on it.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just a weird character. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I can do without Micah for real. I could do without Micah, but I.
Well, I think
Mhm.
Micah is necessary for Charlie. If Micah's not there, Charlie doesn't have a real reason for drive. You know what I mean? And I think Micah, and she even talked about it last week. Micah is the reason that she strives and drives so hard. So
Mhm.
he's definitely necessary. But yeah, maybe it's the casting. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about Mike.
I mean, let's get Charlie's love. Charlie, she's this, peeking, reeking, beautiful, light skinned, lovely lady and stuff. Let's get her a love interest again, so she can go ahead and start getting a groove on. She don't have to be dancing with her son and all. And so that's my suggestion. I'll talk to Ava offline. She watches this show. She's one of our consistent 10 viewers next to
She
Glenda.
is. She
It's,
is.
it's,
She
it's
is.
Glenda and then there's Ava DuNay. And so, we know
What's
what's
up,
up.
Abe?
And so um, we see a beautiful wedding. It was like a beautiful ceremony. And you know what? I've been wondering, where have I seen the actress Darla? And it was Save the Last Dance.
Oh
She
yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
She was
I
a
was
bully.
like, yeah, she was the bully in Save the Last Dance and whatnot. And so um, I just thought it was a beautiful ceremony. Ralph Angel got out there and cut the grass, and he hammered up some stuff and put it together. They found a preacher somewhere with a mask, and they got this beautiful wedding and this beautiful day and all. And so it definitely gives you a little tingle inside, uh, making you remember your day and stuff. I know next month I'll be coming up on 29 years, and so, it's like, wow, it just seemed like it was yesterday. All these things are happening, and you're tying a knot and all. And so it was beautiful. What did you think about the ceremony? And she had the words to share. Ralph Angel, he had his words. I put it on subtitle so I could see what he was saying. Because
First of all,
he
you wrong for
mumbles.
the subtitle. You wrong for the
He,
subtitles.
I had to because he mumbles.
I thought it was a great wedding. Like I actually stood up when she walked down the aisle. I stood up because you're supposed to stand for the bride. I thought it was a great wedding. I thought it was beautiful.
Right.
I thought her words were amazing and
They
poignant.
were.
Like she really acted that out. And she actually looked amazing. I mean, she literally did look like the girl from Save the Last Dance, and that was what, over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
actually looked very good. I thought it was a great wedding. I mean, it was small, of course. I don't like that they put the couches out there, get some seats. What if it
Right.
rained?
Right.
Wet and everything. But anyway,
Right.
they, like you said, they found Bruce to put on the mask and do his
Mm.
ceremony, because it did look like Bruce back there with the hair sticking out. I didn't know who it was. But
Y'all ready to
no.
get married?
I thought it was a great wedding. I thought it was a little unrealistic that Vi made that beautiful ass cake within that little bit of time and got dressed and did a Zoom, but she's a baker, so maybe she was able to do it. I'm glad that Hollywood was able to show back up. He should have bumped Micah out the way and said, "This me now, son." But he let the young boy flourish. I mean, I
Right.
thought it was a beautiful wedding. I enjoyed the wedding. They didn't really have any singers there, but I enjoyed the wedding.
Right. You pulling up the playlist from your Apple playlist. I wonder if they used one of our playlists for the wedding. When we did the slow jams or whatever, the love songs. And so yeah, they pulled up the appropriate playlist and all. And so yeah, it was believable but unbelievable in the
Right.
sense of, yeah, y'all 12. He was in Baton Rouge and y'all down in near New Orleans, and he got back from Baton Rouge that fast. And yeah, but such is life.
I Listen, they Ralph Angel had time to build a trellis, find find a suit for him and Blue, race Charlie down the
I'm getting
damn
ready to get to
sugar
that.
cane.
Right.
He had time to do all that, but he ain't had time to shape Blue head. Anyway, go ahead.
Bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, y'all. Yeah, you out here racing your sister in the sugar cane, but you can't get Blue a haircut. You getting married. You can't line Blue up for the wedding. Blue giving away I mean, well, you can line Blue up.
Now listen, I actually like Ralph Angel's character, but they need not put him in anything athletic, because you know how when you watch actors and they do anything physical, you can tell if they're natural at it. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes are natural
Right,
baseball players. Wesley Snipes also played baseball in Major League, so you can tell he's naturally an athlete, whether he's great or
right.
not. He just has the move. Charlie, you can actually see
She
she
was running.
actually runs. She runs, yeah. Not Ralph Angel. I don't know what that little Herman the
Bro,
Monster, Herman
they had to
Monster,
fix the camera angles on that because he got dusted.
bruh. And he just didn't have the rhythm and he had on boots like he was just going, I'm gonna just wear these boots and I'm a rock. Yo, they did have to keep rolling that camera again. They probably was like, cut,
Right.
Charlie, you gotta let him catch up and win. And she was like, fuck that. And he was always like, Charlie
Charlie.
Baltimore, I'm supposed to win this race, right?
Yeah, man, that race, I'm like, yo, she dusted him, and you really, really had to. Yeah, it's all camera angles on that one because
It's
yeah,
all cameras and angles. She smoked him.
yeah,
Smoked him.
she smoked him. She smoked him. It made me look at her a little bit more. I'm like, whoa, shorty, and normally I'm looking at Nova, but now I'm looking at you. Like, okay, run, sister, run. And so, man, I just thought it was a great episode. I'm glad that we didn't get any craziness because when we saw the previews, it was kind of like, oh Lord, is Darla not going to show up? And even a
Yeah.
little earlier in the episode when she was like in this deep contemplation of, oh man, this is heavy, which she should be because you get married in a couple hours. You just decided yesterday you're going to go ahead and have the ceremony today. that's a heavy thing, but I'm glad that we kind of just got something, a joy. We got to participate in a joyous event. I mean, even Calvin, who loves them thick, he was motivated to lean over to his chocolate, his brown sugar, his little piece of chocolate, and say, "Hey, hey, chocolate, do you see me and you getting married? He hit it with the hey, I want to be with you. Can we? Do you see us together?" Now, Nova, she gave him a player answer at first. She didn't say yeah, but she didn't say no. But I was a little worried for a minute because she kind of like, we can
See,
work through our differences.
you know, so how you get them is how you lose them. And
Hmm.
Nova would be with all the things that Nova has done, she would be it would be unwise for her to commit to marriage with him, in my opinion. But I do agree with you that it was a great episode. It was a joyous episode. And the one thing I'm starting to like about this season of Queen Sugar is they are actually capturing how everyone was feeling during COVID. At the beginning, we didn't know
Right.
what was going on. We may have dismissed it a little bit. Then when we started getting quarantined, everybody was a little nervous, a little on edge, a little anxious. Then as we got into May, we started getting used to it and we started trying to find things that we could do that gave us some sense of normalcy. Them getting married and just having the close relatives to them, we all tried to just sneak the real close people to us, and we were happy. And it looks like next week is when the George Floyd situation hits and everything starts going haywire. And I think we all kind of felt those same emotions as we
Hmm.
started going through this pandemic. So everything is good now, but then boom, something else happens. And I think we all got to the point where we were all like, well, damn, what's coming up next? That with and still being in an election cycle, also, we all had a lot of pressures going on, a lot of things to think about. And being locked in and being home, you couldn't help but see it. You couldn't help but discuss it and talk about it. And I'm interested to see whose mental health is going to break down, because that was another big thing that was going on through the pandemic. But yeah, I really appreciated this episode and the way that they're doing their timeline.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. And like you said, it was kind of like, yeah, we're seeing this progression of working their way through the year of what we dealt with. Like last week's washing the groceries, wiping down the groceries, leaving things in the house. You know who was missing out of this episode? And then we should go ahead and get to This Is Us. Where was Prosper? I didn't see
That's what
Prosper
I
at the
was thinking.
wedding.
I was thinking that also. I was wondering if Prosper stayed at Vi's house, or maybe he went back home. Prosper isn't trying to go out, so this isn't his thing. And you do have those people that barely gone out. There are people now that have barely left the house, and if they aren't forced to leave the house, they aren't going to leave it. So maybe that
Definitely.
was Prosper.
Maybe that was. Maybe that was. And so overall, great solid episode of Queen Sugar, and we'll see what goes on next week because we'll be into dealing with George Floyd and the activism that happened even in the midst of a pandemic from that. And so I'm looking forward to that episode. And so let's jump into This Is Us. Welcome back. This is us after a 3 week hiatus, whatever y'all did, a mid show, mid season hiatus. We were about to drop y'all. You was about to get dropped, Ken Olin, but your guys came on back. It's cool. And so we're ready to jump back into you for Queen Sugar,
Great
pretty much.
episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, all right. So this is us. I've got this. That was the title of the episode. And so last night's episode is all about the Pearsons settling into parenthood. Now, last week they dealt with the post-birth fatigue as they drove home from the hospital. Now, this week, they got into the parental grooves of, getting used to not sleeping, constant feedings, changing diapers, and the like. And we see this in the heartwarming opening montage of sleepy but busy Pearsons. And so we see Jack and Rebecca with the big three. We see Kate and Toby with Haley, and we see Kevin and Madison with their twins. And so, as we get deeper into the episode, let's deal with our girl Beth first. And so, Beth's mother, Carol, has been staying at their house since Randall and Beth went to New Orleans. As you know, Randall went to New Orleans to learn more about his mother and his inheritance. And so, um, if you know from past seasons, Beth and Carol, they have a lot of tension between them. And so, of course, there's been tension in the house since Randall and Beth got back. And so, Beth, she plans a special dinner for what she thinks is going to be her mother's send off. But Carol delays her return home for an unspecified later date. And so while she's cooking, Beth, she's dealing with her mother on the side, giving criticisms, and, daughter getting mad for not letting her have dinner with her friend Alex. But as they're preparing, soon Malik arrives, and to Deja's annoyance, he rushes to find Randall. And he's asking Randall for some advice about a situation. The mother of his daughter Janelle, Jennifer, she wants back in Janelle's life. Malik doesn't mind giving Jennifer a chance, but knows his parents won't like it since they had to fight a nasty custody battle when Jennifer's parents wanted to put Janelle up for adoption. And so Randall admits that, it's a complicated thing, but stresses the significance of knowing one's birth mother. And so they finally get to dinner, and Beth, they're just going around the table, just going at it. And, Beth, she finally breaks and she barks on mom about being judgmental and says that she needs to go ahead and go home and take her judgment with her. And so her Carol, she packs up and leaves the table. And but later on, as they're talking, because the Pearsons always make up, the mother reveals that she envies her daughter in her home life. And so this heartfelt thing really hits Carol somewhere special. And as a result, excuse me, hits Beth somewhere special. And as a result, Beth decides that her mother is staying indefinitely. Now, man, that's my man Randall. She tried to give him some honey brown. Now, so how would that happen if Katina she came with a case of honey brown, talking about, hey, I got your IPA for you, boo. You know, mommy and daddy not going back to Western Maryland. They're going back to Brunswick. They staying here with us.
Well, our house isn't chaotic. So it's one thing to have a
Mhm.
chaotic house like they have. So, and it's also another thing to have parents that you feel are judgmental. So if it was something that I knew stressed my wife out, then I would really be like, are you sure you're okay with this? Because we are married and this is our house, but I've always been one that I don't want to make that decision for you because they're your parents. You know what I
Sure.
mean? I can tell you how I feel, but I don't want to make those decisions for you. So for me, it wouldn't bother me at all. Plus, I'm big on close relatives staying as long as they're not in my way. Now, if you live in an apartment, that's a little different. Like if I got to
Sure.
climb over
Sure.
you every 5 minutes, that's a little different. But if there's the space, I'm good with it because I don't need a whole lot of space to live in. I can live in a small spot. So for me, it would be okay, but I do understand having the stress of your mom living there and you feel like you have to be perfect for her all the time. Like Beth has to be on for her all the time. But Beth is also taking care of three ladies growing up, too, three young ladies, and that has to be rough.
Yeah, what do you think this is going to do for Beth and Carol's relationship? They got this very rough past, her trying to live up to her mother's expectation. And, I know the mother is struggling, going through a tough time being by herself, but, you know, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I think and it goes back to what people are comfortable with, what people miss. And she admitted, I like the chaos. I miss the chaos. I thrive off the chaos. So for her to be alone, she can't handle that. I think Beth expressing to her, I feel like you're judging me and all that. I think maybe she'll ease up and they'll be chaotic together. They'll be parenting together. They can play good cop, bad cop. Most of the time with the grandparents, though, they're just always the good cop. It's not even a game. They're just
Sure.
always the good cop, and the parent is just going to always be the bad cop. But I think she just wants to stay there because she enjoys the chaos. And it's no more than that. She's not really judging Beth. But being a parent, you can't help but say, oh no, don't do this, don't do, because that's what she's used to. That's what she misses. That's what she's coming from. So she misses being a parent to Beth. And that's what she's doing, not realizing that Beth is feeling like, oh my God, you're judging me. And she's not really judging her. She's probably like, no, I'm just trying to help you grow up. But Beth is like, well, damn, I'm already grown. So I think
Right.
it'll work itself out. I forgot what kind of family they call that now. There's a term for it. Is that nuclear family, or is that the whatever the family is where you bring the in-laws or the parents in? I think they're gonna
Okay.
have that type of
I'm going to
family.
look that
Just
up.
like
Mhm.
and just like Beth said, your family treats this like a hotel. Now it's my turn. So yeah, bring
Right.
mom and let mom stay. Let mom and who doesn't want to see Claire Huxtable every week? We see
You know,
Jackass every week. Let's see Claire every week. Shit.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at seeing Felicia Rashad every week, and so that's a good thing. So yeah, I'm with it, and so I want to see how that plays out. One good thing that I saw that happened from that particular story, Randall, he's comforting Deja. She's upset because Randall is the first person in her life who was ever completely in her corner. And she doesn't want his bond with Malik, which is good as well. I'm glad to see that he's really being like a good mentor to Malik to change that. And her confidence in Randall's devotion has been shaken. But Randall, he knows how to recover, and he promises that he'll always put Deja first. And like, hey, let's get on Instagram and hate on this girl that trying thinking she's trying to come back on Malik and all. And so I thought that was good to see this further closeness of Randall and Deja. Randall, I think he does a good job of checking in and trying to maintain and build those relationships. That character between him and Deja, definitely.
He does, but I see a problem with Randall, with those two, with Malik
Hmm.
and with Deja. First of all, I think Randall needs to be careful. Malik has a father. Malik doesn't come from a broken home. Malik has a father that's in his life, a father that's in the home, a father that's very active in his life. So for Malik to always run to Randall, that might become an issue. I don't know. I Giving him advice is one thing. I would have also said, maybe you should talk to your dad also and see what he thinks about this.
Well, he
Um,
did say that he thought the parents were going to be irate because they went through that custody battle.
yeah, but you still got to talk to him. Like I can't have you coming to
Agree.
me and
Agree.
feeling like I'm your outlet and your dad is right there because I don't want to cause a rift there. But the other thing that I realized, and it hit me when Randall said it last night. He was like, "Yeah, when you came, you were a young girl, and now you're 15." And when he said 15, I kind of had to sit back, like, wait a minute. Deja is 15 years old, and she's dealing with a young man with adult problems. And now she's having adult feelings and adult emotions. And as mature as she is, she's still 15.
Right.
I I
I
I
thought the
had
characters were a little older.
I did too. I really did
Yeah,
too.
I thought they were a little older.
Said
Yeah.
15 and I was like 15. So uh, but that and another thing, so when she's like you got to come, you got to be my friend and come, you got to talk to me before you talk to him because you're in my
Hmm.
corner. That's good, but just be careful with with Beth now, because what you don't want to happen is, again, you don't want Deja coming to you and avoiding Beth, who Beth is actually, as you can tell, is the person that sets the rules and lays down the law in there.
Right.
And Randall doesn't want to be put in the position where he's the outlet. He's already made it clear to Tess, yeah, you're not going to be coming to me doing, but you can't have Deja coming to you either. So even though that's not what she did last night, that could be a bridge to that. And you got to be careful because you don't want to get on the wrong side of Beth with that. And you also don't want to get on the wrong side of the daughters with that either. That, oh, so she can come to you and you can do anything for her, but you won't do anything for us. You won't stand up for us. So he's just got to be, I just want him to be a little careful with that. But, Randall is pretty good at recognizing and doing, but Randall is also like, yo, look, you saw when it was about Beth and her mom, Randall was like, listen, I'm not catching any of these stray bullets. I'll take my
Right.
phone. I will just let the city burn. We'll just let it burn. It just burn up.
Right. Let me get to this back point. Let me get to this deck and hide out. I'm not catching no blows. Y'all not gonna hit me up in my eye by mistake. Wise man. All right, so let's talk about your boy Jack, because I got a question about Jack. Now, Jack, he's dining with Miguel and their bosses as he hosts the Atlanta promotion. Now, the bosses suggest a credit card roulette to determine who's going to pay the bill. I ain't never heard of this one before. Let's put our credit cards on the table and let the waitress pick out who's going to pay the bill.
White people shit.
Yeah, that's real white. Real white. Yeah. And so, of course, the waitress picks out Jack's credit card. Wow. And so, although Miguel, I know you hate Miguel. Miguel tried to bail him out. Miguel tried to help him out, but he didn't want Miguel's help. He wanted to go ahead and jump in. And so the bill was $230, man. They had been drinking martinis, eating some good steaks, whatever. They probably had apps. It wasn't app night, 2-for-1 apps. It probably was any app you had was like $50 back then. And so he has to go home with this $230 credit card bill. And Rebecca firmly tells Jack that she's taking over the family finances because of this. Now, my question about Jack is this: as I've watched the Jack character, why do we worship Jack? Because Jack is a screw up. To me, why do we worship Jack? He was a poor money manager. He was dealing with some addiction issues. He was obsessive compulsive dad. He had a lot of issues. Why do we worship Jack like this?
First of all, I'd like to welcome you to my island, the Get Jack Off the Show island. I've been preaching this
Right.
ever since we started, but all y'all seem to love Jack so much. Y'all don't even mention the fact that he got himself killed because he ran in there to save the dog.
Right.
The dog, not the kids. He ran in to save the dog. But anyway,
Well,
first, first, let's talk about this credit card roulette thing. Black people don't play credit card roulette. We actually play hot potato. When the check come, no, that's you, that's you, that's you, that's you, that's you, that's you.
everybody
When
like this.
yeah, I would. Secondly, this is why I hate Miguel. Miguel ain't his boy. Miguel knew Jack couldn't afford that. You don't just say, "Oh no, Jack shouldn't have to put in." And you supposed to be like, Jack, yo, stop, yo. You know you ain't
Right.
got it. Don't do that.
Right.
And then Miguel should have said, because I'm gonna be sleeping with your wife after you die, and that bill gonna come to me, and the interest by that time is gonna double or triple this bill. So
Right.
oh, yeah. um actually we worship Jack because Jack is an absolutely loving father and loving husband. He's an amazing dad and an amazing husband. But when it comes to the details, Jack lacks the details and Jack lacks the responsibilities. Now, that could be because Jack's father didn't really show him a lot, and Jack
Right.
didn't even want to listen or learn from his father. But Jack also had to take care of his brother Nicky too. So I'm not sure. It's the details because Jack is a strong figure. If it comes to security or manning up, he definitely does that. He doesn't run from the situations. He just goes into the situations without actually thinking them through. So I think one of the reasons why we all like Jack is because he is definitely a strong man in the show. He just can't get the details quite correct. Every now and then he does, but a lot of times he doesn't.
I like what Deshaun just said. He said that black people turn into accountants at the dinner table when it's time to split the bill. That's so true. My math is terrible any other time, but when that bill come, boy, I can tell you the percentage of what everybody owes, that tip. Oh, boy, I don't need no calculator for that.
But what about the people that are going to order all the appetizers and this and that, and then at the end they be like, "Well, let's just split it evenly." Split it evenly.
Right.
I ain't even.
I
I
didn't.
don't even want that calamari. I
Right.
don't even like crab dip. So why I gotta split that evenly with you? I ain't even
Right.
eat it evenly. You ate all the bread on the bowl. The
Right.
crab dip rolled on out on the plate and everything. Ain't nobody getting none.
I'm lactose intolerant. I can't eat cheese. Nobody told you to get mozzarella sticks.
I
you
mean, we
know?
we might be able to split the food evenly, but you the one that kept ordering them shots. I'm not
Right.
paying them $10 shots, or well, nowadays them $20 shots that you've been ordering. I'm not. No, I ain't
Come
doing.
on, man. Anyway, so Jack, boy, he never fails. And so here's also the meat of last night's episode. Your boy Kevin. Kevin plans to have Madison, Kate, and Toby, have an adults dinner. You just had these children. You're going through COVID. It was great to be able to start sitting in the company of people without masks sometimes, kind of being in a pod with your friends or your family and enjoying some adult time. And so now, while he's setting that up, when he's talking to Kate, Toby's at home. He's doing a Zoom job interview while rocking Haley with his putter or his 9 iron, I think it was. And so, getting blunt with the interviewer, Toby says this is his 30th interview, and so he's tired and his confidence is shaking. He wants to know if he actually has a shot at the job. And the interviewer says that he's one of their top candidates, or he is their top candidate. And so, en route to Kevin's, Toby asked Kate not to tell her brother about this situation because, the Pearsons, they always try to solve everything and share everybody's information in the family. But during the dinner, dumb Toby, he reveals that he doesn't have a job. Dun dun. And so Kevin offers to help, which, of course, Toby, I'm a man. I'm 30. I'm a man. He just says, no, I don't want your help. I can do this myself. You ain't got no job anyway, nonetheless. And so Kate, she apologizes to Kevin, and Kevin makes her promise that she'll ask him for help if her family ever needs it, because what's his is theirs. And eventually, before the end of the night, Toby and Kevin, they also seem like they make amends before saying goodnight. And so later on, we see Kate. She's talking to Rebecca, thanking her for ensuring that her and her siblings never wanted anything, even if Jack didn't make much money. And, just sharing that experience of how mom was able to balance the book. Now back to Kevin and Toby and Madison and Kate. You know, Sometimes you can have too much pride. That's what I'm thinking about Toby. You know, you don't want to. Pride goes before the fall, and you don't want to get in the position. You're a dad. You got a newborn. You know, Kevin is swimming in oodles of dollars. It's nothing wrong with seeking help when you really need it. But what do you think about Toby and his standoffish thing? Is he gonna bite his hand to spite his face?
Well, one of the things, and I think we talked about it the last time the show was on. I really wanted to see how Toby would handle not having a job and being in the pandemic because I didn't think he was actually built for the controversy in his life, built for the chaos in his life, and clearly he's
Hmm.
not because he completely, you can just see on his face, he didn't even want to go. Um, but it's such a fine line because when you have a family, you want to be responsible for your family. Even though it seems like a man thing, it's really just a family thing. Like Toby said, yeah, you have your family and I have my family. We're responsible for what goes on here. Kevin is so used to the big three concept that at some point you have to let that big three concept go when it comes to infringing on the household of Kate and Toby. And I think Kevin has to deal with that. And it's not a fault of anyone's. When they get married, they become a separate entity. They're like part of a whole. Where Kevin just wants the whole. He talks about the compound. He wants the whole. Toby's trying to say, yeah, we're family, but this is our business. Now, where I think Toby got a little too prideful, you know, when he offered, if you need help, at this point you just say, okay, if we do, because you never know what's going to happen down the line. Um, but when they offered to take them babies, hell yeah, you can watch these kids all day long if your ass want to. That ain't got nothing to do with you
Right.
think it's saving me daycare money. Yeah, it's saving me a couple dollars there, but it's saving me a whole lot of stress and getting me some sleep. Hell yeah, I will bring these little bad motherfuckers over
What
here.
time can I drop them off?
Exactly.
Right.
That's where he met. And I'm
Hmm.
sure Kate was sitting there like, hold on, bro. We no, whoa. Y'all want to watch these babies? Hell yeah, y'all
Right.
can watch these babies. That's where he messed up. And you can tell Toby got out of pocket because he definitely sent Madison astray, and it was not necessary for that.
Hmm.
I didn't appreciate his apology, and I don't think he was really sincere in his apology. But I think they both have to learn where the boundaries are, what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And I don't think either one of them were wrong. I don't even think Toby had too much pride. I think Toby just wanted to make it clear that this is no longer about the big three. This is about me and Kate, me and my wife. And you have yours and your wife, and that's what you need to concentrate on.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably one of the hardest things of, coming together with a spouse or you having children. But, the influences of how you grew up versus their experience of growing up and how they worked through issues versus your experience and trying to find a happy balance of how, both of those things work. Obviously the Pearsons, they have this group experience of pulling together and fighting together. And that doesn't always work for everyone. That doesn't work for Toby. That doesn't sometimes it didn't work for Madison. And so assessing where you are in developing your own approaches is, sometimes, it can be difficult because as Kevin was saying, hey, I think back of how we grew up and we had these things, that's what I want to give to, my family, but everybody doesn't have those experiences. It's obvious that, Toby doesn't have that type of experience. And so sometimes you have to build your own thing and, not make it the group thing of the family. And so I think that's that dynamic that I see playing out between Kevin and Toby, and it's always going to be there. There's always this tension of, hey, we're the super family, and you come, we solve the issues, and you join in, and that's going to be difficult for them.
And I like how someone said, Kevin saying he looks at his money as all their money. That is definitely a wild statement because I'm sure Madison was thinking in the back of her mind, did you consult this with me? Because
Right,
the money that you make is to take care of our family. It ain't to take care of their family. Helping is one thing, but having some sort of potluck ass money, and yeah, Kevin is like, yeah, we make stupid money. And Madison is probably like, we do, but we also have children and let's make our own stupid decisions. Like we don't need to
right,
be, this ain't the Salvation Army of money over here. Like
right,
let's
right,
chill out, bro.
right. Yeah, like slow down, man. Slow down, slow down. Slow down. So yeah, but that's Kevin. Kevin is he's trying to be Jack. He's trying to be this
Trying to
savior,
be Jack.
and yeah, he's trying to be Jack, and that's his Achilles heel. Really, he wants to be dad.
You know, this episode of This Is Us had a really strong theme that I thought about, and it's male fragility. You know, when you look at Toby, feeling, I guess he was feeling lesser than a husband or lesser than a father.
Hmm.
When you look at Kevin, when he feels like, you know, I should be able to take care of everyone and I want to. And if you don't want my help, it's nothing wrong with me. Like, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you want my help? When you look at Jack, Jack, like, you know, I couldn't stand there and not put my credit card in. Like, yeah, bro, yes, you could. You know what I mean? We
Right.
all have a lot of it's our ego, it's a whole lot of things as a man. And I think this episode exposed a lot of it, but it also showed how the women in our lives kind of let us have it until they're like, okay, let me step in
Um,
here and take
Let me
care.
save him.
Exactly. Like
Hmm.
of course, she went to save Jack. I'm sure Kate is rubbing Toby's because she had to go to Toby and say, you know, I love
Right.
you, you're great, you know, and I'm sure Madison is going to have that talk with Kevin, like, you can't be offering our money to everyone, because the
Right.
last thing you want to happen is everyone starts taking you up on it, and you're going to start feeling like, well, everybody's using me, but you offered it, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
it definitely showed a lot of male fragility and a lot of women's strength in there. Maybe because it's Women's History Month. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hey, they think these things out, but definitely, thank God for the foundation of women. Women, like they said, behind every successful man is a strong woman, and so, definitely this kind of massaging and coaching and pushing and prodding and knowing when to caress and knowing when to push out and challenge and all those things. I think that's the delicate thing that women, not saying that they're delicate, that they're soft, but I think that's the delicate approach that a woman has. Most men, especially when I was dealing with my daughters, it's always, I'm pushing them like, look, come on, get tough, get up there and do it. But there is a massaging sometimes also that needs to happen. That sometimes you get out of the balance of a
Hmm.
woman. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely, definitely. So overall, again, two great strong episodes last night. Queen Sugar, This Is Us. Looking forward to these next couple weeks. Hopefully, hopefully This Is Us doesn't disappear after next week's episode. We see that Uncle Nicky is coming back.
Yeah.
He was at the door and all, and so we're gonna do a a throwback episode. Him coming through Vietnam and being raised by Jack and all of these things. And so we're
A
going to
lot
have
more
some
Jack.
nostalgia play out next week. Yeah, Jack
A lot
again.
more Jack. And
A
I
lot
hope
more
they
Jack.
they show the episode, because This Is Us is starting to turn into This Is a Break. So they keep
Right.
taking these damn breaks. I need them to anyway.
Yeah.
Hey man, let me mention this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Michelle Price, who joins us sometimes, I went to high school with her, City Forever.
City
Michelle
Forever.
is she has two sons. She has Micah and she has Darren, and they are having a DJ battle this Saturday on Zoom, this Saturday at 5 p.m. And I am going to be one of the judges. I know Garland wanted to be, but I'm not sure if you can make it. If you can make it, definitely come. But if you
Yeah.
need more information on that, hit me up or hit Michelle up, and she'll tell you some more. And I'm sure she would be happy if everyone joined in. But I am going to be one of the judges, because hey, listen. Although Garland has the belt now, I am the true champ of the Zoom music battle. So she
You're
needs.
not the true champ. I won the inaugural battle, the very first one. Did I not win the very first one?
That's so long ago, bro. I don't even remember that. I think you won
But
it when we weren't doing it on Zooms. It was the 8-track music battle. That's it was that long ago. It was the 8-track music. Oh,
bro,
you actually wasn't even that. It was the phonograph music battle. We had to listen to the little flower thing that came out. We had to.
You so wrong. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. May it be vinyl, may it be CDs or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. The first is the first. I don't know what you can do with it. And
George
so,
George Washington was the first two, and he had slaves. What you saying?
oh, come on, man. Don't put me with George Washington. Lord Jesus, let's go and get it off. Don't put me with George Washington. Anyway, and so we are going to plan another battle coming up soon. As a matter of fact, me and Calvin need to talk. I've been tossing around some ideas, and so we're going to come up with something and all, and try to keep it fresh. Also, we're always open to suggestions, and so if you have a suggestion for a music challenge, definitely hit us up on the All Things Black page. Drop it on there, and we're always open to ideas.
And definitely follow us. You can follow us on Facebook, and you can follow us on YouTube at All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. You can follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter at ATW. What is that? ATWB GANDC, which stands for All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. So make sure you follow us there.
Yes.
Hey man, as
And we're
always,
not tag team. I know somebody think we look like tag team. Ashley, we're not tag team. I know we look like those guys from the commercial, but you know,
Sprinkles.
sprinkles, cookie dough.
This was a great show. I'm glad everyone was able to join us. Sorry about the delay. We had the computer problems, but thanks again for joining us. I see this off the wall versus
Off the
Thriller.
versus
Like,
Thriller.
might be
Or maybe Purple Rain versus Off the Wall, or Purple Rain versus Thriller.
ooh, ooh.
Mm.
Anyway, hey, we appreciate everyone for joining us. Make sure you're still staying safe. Everyone doesn't have the vaccine yet, so it's
Right.
still out here, even though the governor tried to open us up and the mayor said, well, slow your roll. The rest of Maryland can open if they want, but we still going to chill a little bit. But hopefully it's for everyone's own good. Make sure you're taking care of your family. We hope everyone is well.
Most
And I
definitely.
guess we will see you next week. If you have any suggestions, as Garland said, just hit us up on any of the pages, any of the social media, or if you have our numbers, just hit us up personally and we will look into it for you. All right. All right,
All
folks.
right.
Well, thanks again, Garland. I
All right,
will
Calvin.
see you soon. Definitely holler at me so we can wrap and see what's going on. All right.
Definitely. Peace,
See
everybody.
you guys later. Y'all